but I'm glad to be with you today. Thanks very much for taking the time out of your busy schedules to watch this. And if you're watching the recording, that's great too. So, I talk with a lot of real estate agents about social media, and they tell me, oh man, it's just really complicated. And I don't know. I, I'm not really that into it, or I do it sometimes, but not very much. So it reminds me of the way that my husband Scott and I have approached our garden, or I should maybe put it all on him because he's the one who does this. So, every year we look at our garden and say, what do we need to get this year? Because we've kind of been building it out over time, and we've replaced some plants and things. And every year we go to the nursery, we pick out the plants, we come home, I tell him where to plant them, and he plants them. It's a great scheme, don't you think? Well, every year he leaves the tags on the plants, as you can see here in this picture. And I ask him, why are you doing this? This is ridiculous. Well, so I can remember what we planted. Okay. It doesn't have to be that complicated, It seems very simple, but we have all these plants with tags on them in our garden. It looks kind of silly. So I finally got him to take pictures and put them in an album this year. But this one got left behind. So consider this. What if you could take just a few minutes out of your time once a week and get yourself together, and so that you can be more consistent with LinkedIn and use it for your real estate business? Wouldn't you agree that'd be a pretty good plan? Well, I'm going to show you some things that can help you beef up your LinkedIn presence and really be able to use it to benefit your real estate business. Sound like a deal? Well, I know a lot of us are probably still where using the Rolodex maybe. I have one and I haven't touched it in so long. It has dust on it, and I'm looking at it thinking I should just get rid of it now. Well, LinkedIn is where you can find people and communicate with them and, bring them into the fold, so to speak. So what is it really? Well, it is just another social network, but it's for professional connections. So you're probably not going to see the cat videos on LinkedIn. Every now and then they might show up, but generally not. It's also a job search platform, and maybe that's what you're most familiar with. Well, and you think, I'm not looking for a job, so why should I use it? But guess what? Every day in real estate, you get up and you look for a job, right? You look for buyers and sellers who want to work with you. It's a place for your online resume. And it's even so much more than just a plain old paper resume. But you can also use it as part of your prospecting plan. So the place to start is your profile. Now, there are 4 things that you want to make sure that you kind of beef up on your profile. And the first thing that I can't stress enough is your photo. You got to have a photo on there. It should be a professional photo with a smile. And, there's some statistic out there, and now it escapes me. I forgot to write it down. But if you don't have a picture on your LinkedIn profile, people are most likely just going to scoot right past you. They won't even bother looking. So if they're searching for a real estate professional and you don't have a photo, forget it. There's also a banner image that sits behind your photo, and you can customize that. There are different ways to do it, but that's a great place to put your contact information so people can see it. They don't even have to hunt. The headline sits underneath your photo, and that should be a simple explanation of what you do. A lot of people, their headline says real estate professional, realtor, real estate agent. It doesn't say anything about what they do in their business. So you can use a simple formulation like, I help buyers and sellers, whatever. I help whoever do whatever, buy X. So I help buyers and sellers realize their dreams in home ownership by providing professional service. An alternative to that is to use keywords that are separated by an up and down line. So it could say real estate professional, investment help, whatever the different things that you do in your business, maybe even areas that you specialize in. But that's a very popular way now because LinkedIn will search by keywords. Now, underneath that stuff, besides a summary, which is like your bio, your written bio, there's a thing called featured. Featured is an area where you can highlight documents, photos, graphics, links to websites, could be videos, anything that's going to tell people about your business and what you do and how you operate. And then obviously there's place in here for experience. So whatever professional experience that you've had. And by the way, LinkedIn will pull the logo from your company as long as the company has a presence on LinkedIn. That's very helpful. Then you don't have to worry about uploading a logo. But don't forget your volunteer experience. I know a lot of you are really, really involved in your communities. Well, highlight that on your LinkedIn profile also. You can have a separate section for volunteer experience. So let's take a look here. When you're on the LinkedIn dashboard and you see the little place where your picture goes and me right underneath it, it's up at the top, click on the arrow and you will see a place where you can view profile, and it will take you into your profile area where you can edit it and add anything you need to. But you see where I have circled here on the left under account, there's a thing that says settings and privacy. That's important too, because you're going to want to make sure that you set up your profile so that people can see certain kinds of information. Now you can expose it just to people who you're connected with on LinkedIn. You don't have to expose it to everyone, but things like your contact information, that's important. When you are in your profile area, so you can see here in this picture, that's your banner. And there's an edit pencil in the upper right-hand corner. That's what you use to change your banner. To change your profile image and your headline, you're going to need to use the edit pencil over to the right of more. That edit pencil will get you into the area where you can change anything about your contact information, your headline, your photo, and also your bio. Now over to the right, you're going to see a thing that says edit public profile and URL. And I want to point this out because LinkedIn, just like all the other social media platforms, will give you a really funky website address for your profile unless you go in and edit it. You can go in and edit it and make it very succinct. I typically recommend that after the last slash, you just put your name. But if you want to say something with your name, you can do that as well. Okay. Now, I mentioned the featured area in your profile, and that sits below your headline, your pictures, your bio. Then you're going to come to your featured area. And I've added several things to my featured area. I have a profile that's a presentation. And then I have a link to my website. You can see just the edge of an infographic about R-squared coaching. I also have a couple of links about videos. To edit that, you click on the edit pencil. To add things to the featured area, you click on the plus sign, and that will open up a box where you can upload or place a link. You determine and click on the appropriate things to do that. In the experience area, just like I mentioned, it's hard to see here, but the logo will show up automatically. You plug in the dates and a description of what you do. But don't forget, for any experience, you can also add documents or links. So that can be a place where you might link to your website, or you might upload a particular document. Maybe it's a certificate. The same thing goes in any area in your LinkedIn profile, whether it's your job history or your education. It could be even your accomplishments. You can upload certificates and graphics or link to other things in those for each of those things. Now, LinkedIn will group experience at one company. So if you've held multiple positions at your company, it will automatically put them together for you. So you don't, as you enter them, it will recognize it's the same company and it will group them together. Anna, any questions or comments at this point?
Not so far, but if you do have questions, feel free to put them in the comments. I'm monitoring them, and then we'll read them over to Carol.
Great, thank you. All right, now you get your profile all set up, because of course you want that to look good so that when people go there, they'll have something to see and know about you. But posting is another really important thing about LinkedIn. You want to get engagement. All social media platforms rank the posts that people see in their news feeds based on engagement. So the more likes and comments and even shares that you get, the better. So you want to post remarkable content. Sounds kind of funny, but it's true. LinkedIn gives you several opportunities to post different kinds of materials. You know, if you're familiar with Facebook, you can post videos and pictures, and you can put, add links to a post. But on LinkedIn, you have the added ability to post documents and articles. So if you've ever been thinking about blogging, but you didn't know where to start, this is a great place to add articles. Short pieces that you create, I should say longer than a regular post, but still, a short article, a couple minutes of reading. And you can add pictures to that. You can add links and video. So articles on LinkedIn is a wonderful way to get into blogging, or for those occasional times when you have more to say than just what would fit in a post. But documents. This is a wonderful way to create documents about your business. So again, it could be something like a short PowerPoint presentation about you and your business. Or maybe it's frequently asked questions for buyers or for sellers. You have a few questions, you answer them in your document, you upload the document, and now it sits there and people can read it on LinkedIn or they can download it. Be sure to add your contact information so that if they do go off LinkedIn and they have the document, they can still contact you. But remember, photos and videos they're like the best thing that you could do on social media. Everybody loves pictures and video. The thing I would tell you about video on LinkedIn is that a lot, and I'm talking like 80% of people, watch video on LinkedIn without the sound on. So you're going to want to add captions to your videos so that people will be able to read it when they're watching it or while they're watching it. There are places that you can upload your video and have them make captions for you, and then you get a file and you upload it when you're uploading your video. It's not very costly, depends usually on how long your video is, but if it's 2 or 3 minutes, you'll be in it'll be an easy thing to do. If you'd like more information about different services, put something in the comments and I'll get back to you about that. But when you're making a simple post on LinkedIn, the thing that I think you should remember is that if you can put a picture with it, people will pay more attention to it. So let's look at what making posts on LinkedIn looks like. So when you click on that, add a post, you're going to see this screen over here on the left. It'll show up as a box. And right away at the top, you'll see a menu. By default, LinkedIn will post to anyone, but you can click on that menu and come over here and you're going to see then alternatives. So you can post to anyone or anyone and Twitter, for example. I have my Twitter account integrated with LinkedIn. I did that in my profile. I added it there. And now I can choose to have anything that I post on LinkedIn automatically go over to Twitter. I actually don't post on Twitter very often, but I do this way. I can have my post go to just my connections, so those people I'm connected with. I can have them go to members of a group I belong to, and I can choose the group. So you can join any number of groups on LinkedIn, and then you can post directly to that group. Once you have edited that, you can click in the box and start typing. You can come down here below and add your picture or your video or your document. Now, if you are using the LinkedIn app on your smartphone or a tablet, you also have the ability to capture native video. So you can set it up and record your video directly to LinkedIn. It's not live. They do have the live function, but you can also do it without going live. So you have that ability if you're on the app, but if you're on your dashboard on your computer, you have to upload the video. So you have to have recorded it either on your smartphone or on your laptop and then add it in to your post. Now, down here it says add a hashtag. And hashtags are really important because that's how people will find your posts. So your hashtag should be, think of categories. If you're posting about something specific in real estate, add the hashtag real estate. You might have, your company might be using hashtags to draw attention to your posts, agent posts or company posts. You can start a hashtag and use it for all of your posts. LinkedIn will keep track of the hashtags that you use. That's easy enough to look at them and see, what am I using a lot? And that sits in your activity. Now, underneath here, and my box covers it up, but if you click on the plus sign, you're going to see some new things that LinkedIn has added as options for posts. And I'll point out a couple of them. One of them is share a profile. So you can share any of your connections profiles. So if you know someone is looking for a job, or maybe they are starting a new business, it's like giving them a shout out on LinkedIn. That's how you build your connections. Another one is for polling. So now you can create polls on LinkedIn. So you could make up a poll with 2 or 3 questions and post it. And every time somebody votes, that pops up again in the newsfeed. So it's a great way to stay present. All right, questions, or are we doing okay?
Yeah, there's one question from Sham. He's wondering if you have a website or source that you recommend for creating captions.
I use rev.com, and I use them because you can do it one-off. Some of the other websites will make you pay for a subscription, and although I create several videos, I've just found that to be more economical. It's $1.25 per minute. And it's very easy to upload your video. You can tell them what kinds of formats you need. And then you can download them when they're ready, but they will always stay in your account. So if you ever need them in the future, you can go back and get them again. So
that's actually the one I recommended to him too. So that's funny.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's all we have for questions so far.
Okay, wonderful. Now, the heart of your LinkedIn presence also, besides your profile, is going to be your connections. And just remember, on LinkedIn, you connect with people. You don't friend them, right? And hold on, sorry about that. Here we go. I had a little glitch happen, so we're going to go forward here. So I put together some ideas. And by the way, the one on the far right that says coffee invite, that's the one that I just talked about. I use coffee because I like to drink coffee, but that's how I phrase it. I say, hey, would you like to get together for, 15 to 30 minutes for a virtual coffee? And I'd love to find out more about what you do and if there's any way that I can help you out. And I've had several of these, and a few of them have turned into clients. So it can be a great way to connect with people. But going over to the left, market activity. This is one thing that you can do that people on LinkedIn love, and it demonstrates your value and your expertise. You can post graphics or pictures that show recent market activity in your area. You can share statistics with people, or maybe you share a link to information about market activity. Look around. Does your association or board publish monthly market activity that you could take the statistics from and maybe create a graphic on Canva or some way else, and then post that? And always include a call to action. If you'd like more information about what's going on in your neighborhood, let me know. I'd be happy to provide that. Okay. Make a video introduction. A video introduction says, here's who I am. This is what I do. Contact me for more information. Put that in your featured area on your profile, but also put it in a post. So I'm going to get to this idea in a minute here, but you can use it in two ways. An FAQ document, I talked about that a little bit with the posting. Create a list of common questions that buyers or sellers have. Answer them briefly, or find somebody to help you with the answers, and then use that as post material. And then the coffee invite. If you like tea better or some other kind of beverage, use that. But especially now, when we're living in this COVID area and people may not be getting out and about to meet up with people, that could be a great way to get together with them quite informally, but to strengthen that connection, so that when they see your posts in the future, or when they hear of somebody who says, oh, I'm looking for a real estate agent, maybe they'll think of you. Stay top of mind. Ask them for the ability to get in touch with them again, or through an alternative method. Now, I'm a big proponent of reuse and recycle. So a lot of what I post on Facebook, for example, I'm also posting on LinkedIn, or I'm using some of those posts on LinkedIn. It just depends on what it is, but I can tell you that my videos get posted on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. I do it on different days, but I reuse that content because you spent time making it. You might as well get the most bang for your buck. Now, to figure this out, I recommend that you use a schedule and you use a content grid. If you're not sure what a content grid is, put something in comments and I'll address that. And I'll even share a content grid with you. But then you can easily look at that and determine what kinds of things would I want to post. And then also, think about old posts that you've created in the past, and can you reuse them? I can guarantee you people will not remember what you posted last month if they saw it. So you might as well use it again. So materials that you create, create a folder on your computer and stick things in the folder so that you can reference them quickly when you need something. But reuse and recycle. Get the most use out of the things that you create. Now, you may have dawned on you that I haven't been talking much about posting about your listings. There is a place for using your listings in a post. And I recommend that you do that because that could be part of your marketing plan for your sellers. But I'm really talking about creating a presence on a social media platform like LinkedIn that's in a professional arena, so that people are seeing you in a multitude of ways, not just seeing the listings. Now, listings and sold listings and pictures of your happy clients, that's all results marketing, and that's good. You should continue to do it, but just don't make that everything that you do. Bring in some of these other things as well. All right. And part of that, let me go back and see if this will, there we go. There's my content grid. Yeah, okay. Questions, Anna, because I've gone over a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you have. Nothing so far.
Okay, all right. Well, I just wanted to point out again that LinkedIn's a professional networking platform. And so you're going to want to make sure that your posts respect that, that you're posting things that are of a professional nature. And you're inviting people through a call to action to either contact you or engage with your post in some way. So some of those alternative things like polls, get people involved in your post. A video, certainly they're going to be watching that, and you can go into your activity area. So when you go to your profile, you're going to see my activity, and you can see exactly how many people saw your posts, and you can gauge what sorts of things are working well and what don't. Maybe you want to change up and do something different. But that's really your opportunity, is highlight your business and your position as a professional in a business world, connecting with other professionals, clients, and customers, and using that as an opportunity to prospect for new business. Now, one of the things that I didn't mention when I was talking about your profile is recommendations. And I only bring this up because it's another place where you can get people to recommend you. And then people who look at your profile have the ability to see that if you let them. You may be getting your recommendations and reviews on another platform. Maybe it's Zillow. Maybe you're using your Facebook page that way. Realtor.com. There are any number of places online that people can write recommendations and reviews of your work. I would not have clients going to multiple platforms to recommend you. It gets tiring for them, certainly, and they are less likely to do it. So if you already have recommendations and reviews somewhere else, I wouldn't start asking people on LinkedIn. I'm talking about clients. But maybe you use the LinkedIn recommendations to get recommendations from other agents or your manager, your broker, a title rep that you worked with, a home inspector, people who are parallel to you in the business, because they can say things about your expertise that a client might not say. I hope that makes sense. And that way, your client reviews and recommendations sit wherever you have them now, but you use the LinkedIn recommendations for people to talk about you as a professional from their position as a professional. Okay, so let's see. Connect with me. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Go to my Facebook page and like it. Send me an email if you've got questions. But at this point in time, Anna, if there are no questions or comments to deal with, I have gone through my material.